Victor LaValle and Leonard Kirk reveal the twisted fate of Sabretooth, Krakoa's first and supposedly only prisoner, as Cypher approaches the feral villain with an offer he can't refuse. Victor LaValle finally pulls back the curtain on what the hell has happened to Sabretooth, who all the way back at the beginning of House of X was imprisoned in Krakoa for his New York rampage. I love that LaValle went back to that point in time and pretty much began the story from that moment, leaving us in this really hellish existence, and one that I could say is probably pretty inhumane, even given the type of villain Sabretooth is. LaValle also builds on what Hickman has been doing with the character Cypher, and kind of where we left off with him in Inferno, and how he's been pulling some strings of his own away from Xavier, seeing as that he is one with the island and him and Warlock are in touch with the island better than anyone else. So we see him again making his own choices and working with Krakoa and Sabretooth in a way behind the mutant's back to give Sabretooth a bit more freedom. It's a thoroughly interesting way to take those characters, and even more so now that with Sabretooth having this freedom, he's basically become the Krakoan devil, and it's implied at the ending of this issue that he's going to be making deals with some other mutants who are sent to his gulag. Given what we know about how Krakoa is being run and everything Xavier and Eric and the Quiet Council are doing, I'm absolutely looking forward to Sabretooth getting out and getting some revenge. Leonard Kirk brings Sabretooth's hell to life with some really fittingly brutal artwork that I'm quite shocked actually wasn't censored in any way. We get bears and mutants' faces getting ripped off on panel, people getting disemboweled and blown apart in bloody fashion. It's all fantastic stuff, and it feeds really well into the idea of Victor being a vicious animal and him knowing that he's a vicious animal, so he does all of this stuff with a smile on his face. Sabretooth issue 1 was a fantastic issue that revealed a lot of long-standing plot threads tied directly to Krakoa and the mutants there, building on what we already know with certain characters while doing some really interesting character development for Sabretooth to help transform him into something more than a hired killer and something the mutants should probably watch out for. I'm going to give this issue a 9.5 out of 10. Sabretooth issue 1 recounts Victor Creed's trial at the hands of the Quiet Council on Krakoa after his rampage in New York, seeing only clowns and fools before him, passing judgment on him as if they are clean of any wrongdoing. Victor tells them that he isn't just going to take this, and he's making a list, and they and their kids and their children's children are going to be on it. Xavier orders Douglas to get Krakoa to swallow Sabretooth up, as Charles says he'll be exiled. Victor tries to claw his way up, knowing that he will be free soon and they won't even notice. Suddenly, Victor finds himself in the Canadian wilderness, catching the scent of something as he begins to hunt a bear, taking it down with his bare hands and ripping its face off, reminding himself that he's always known what he is and not many people can say that about themselves. The X-Men soon appear, and Wolverine calls him a coward for killing the bear since it's not competition, but if he does want competition, he should try him. Victor is embarrassed for Xavier, who said that he would never be free, yet he is. Jean tells him to be quiet, using her powers to knock the villain out as Cyclops ushers his body away, wanting to get home before the coffee gets cold. Suddenly, Sabretooth regains consciousness, clawing off Cyclops' face and using his now unleashed eye beams to obliterate the other X-Men, leaving only Nightcrawler left alive. Kurt attacks, threatening to send Sabretooth to hell as he faces his arm through Victor's chest, but the villain bites him on the neck, killing Kurt and ripping him from his arm. Victor knows that this is going to hurt as he rips Nightcrawler's arm from his chest, finding his still beating heart in the hero's dead hand. He wishes he could have torn him apart with his bare hands, but otherwise he has no regrets since he knows what he is, and that's his superpower. Suddenly, Victor is transported into an interrogation room, chained to the floor as Douglas arrives, claiming to be the district attorney. Victor knows that he was at the Quiet Council chambers when he was sentenced to exile, and Douglas confirms he was, but he and Krakoa didn't get a vote. He sets his Warlock briefcase down on the table and tells Victor that he represents Krakoa, who feels that Victor might have been judged a bit too harshly. Victor understands what's happening, knowing that they found him after he killed the X-Men and brought him back, and Douglas wants to know how he escaped, but Victor knows that if he tells him, he won't be able to do it again. Douglas knows he can't tell him since he didn't actually escape anywhere and it was all in his head, as Sabretooth suddenly claws Douglas's head off. But the head continues to talk, asking if he's done. Douglas reveals that in this place, he can survive attacks like that, wanting to just talk with Victor for a little bit since this isn't the first time the villain has beheaded him. Victor wants to know why he can't remember anything, learning Krakoa thought it would be better if he didn't. as a type of kindness to him. Douglas offers him a bargain, telling him that while Krakoa can't free him physically, if he signs the contract, he will be granted mental freedom and he won't forget anymore. Victor figures that his mind would be free but his body's still in prison, but Doug knows that it will be that way until the council changes its mind. He wonders if he says no, wanting to rip Douglas's head off, but the mutant says that Krakoa leaves him to the fate of Xavier decreed for him, making him immobile but aware. Douglas does say that Xavier tells him that no prisons will exist on Krakoa proper and there wouldn't be another mutant again in prison, but Victor doesn't care, deciding to sign the document since he really doesn't have a choice here. With his mind freed, Sabretooth kills his way through all the mutants and other old acquaintances, and after killing everything that ever hurt him, he wonders what he could be if he wasn't just some lackey or heel or assassin, knowing that he never got to imagine what else he could be. Victor decides to meet with the Boy and the Beast, other aspects of his mind, as he convenes the Feral Council, wanting to decide how to spend eternity. Victor tells the Boy and the Beast that they have already killed everything, joking about how Banshee really made a racket when he died, but now he wants to dream bigger, wondering what they should do now that they can go anywhere. They decide to become Creed the King, who carves his way through the feral lands with Bright Fury, his unbreakable blade. Everything the King kills is left with the mark of Creed on them, and soon Victor forms his own Starjammers, taking to the cosmos to become the scourge of the 7 solar systems as he kills his way through every major cosmic civilization in secret. In the real world Krakoa, Black Tom Cassidy tells Krakoa he didn't wish he had to leave, but he won't let the professor travel to Terra Verde alone. He hears a voice, seeing Sabretooth appear in the wood in one of the trees near him before it disappears, asking if Krakoa saw that, but the island doesn't answer. Tom isn't the first to see Sabretooth on Krakoa, as his ghostly visage meets with other mutants across the island, some thinking it just to be a trick of the light while others think it to be a nightmare. Meanwhile, Victor finds the one place he is most at home, making a hell of his own, ruling in the bowels of Krakoa with him as its king. Suddenly, the sky cracks open above him and 5 beings drop into his realm. Sabretooth confronts them, knowing that he wasn't expecting company, telling the mutants of the little place he just threw together in his mind. The beings are revealed to be 5 different mutants, who Victor knows shouldn't be there, since he was told that he would be the only prisoner, yet here they are. He knows that they all have a right to be scared since no one is coming to save them. He tells them that he's going to practice on them all, and once he is really good at putting them all through hell, he's going to do the same with every mutant on Krakoa.